Hello, everyone, and once again, it is Wednesday, my favorite day of the week because it is another episode of Speak Your Soul. I am your host, Shantae. So, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this is my podcast that I do every Wednesday at 5 o'clock on the dot, where I get to talk about some of the things I love to talk about, which ultimately could be anything from poetry to photography to music to you just never know. Typically, it's relationships though. So, for those of you who have tuned in week after week, thank you so much for the love and support that you guys have shown. We are on episode 23. I'm 23 in the game. I'm still young, but but I'm getting older all the time. So please make sure that you're checking this out on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast. It's everywhere. It's on IG right now. Thank you for those that are tuning in on IG. Thank you for those that are tuning in on Facebook Live. Once again, it is another week. It's gloomy outside. I don't know what's going on with this weather between Laura and everything else that's happening. But one of the things, hey everybody, hey, for those of you that are tuning in, thank you so much once again. An interesting topic once again this week, and we're going to jump right into that in just a little bit. But I want to, for those of you that do know, starting at the episode number 1 of Speak Your Soul, I do take the time to talk a little bit about relationships, but also, like I said, talk about music and all this other kind of stuff. So, want to talk a little bit about, for those of you that caught the verses on Monday. So, the big thing about it was I came on, literally for those of you who've listened to the episode, I came on when Jill Scott and Erykah Badu did their verses and talked a little bit about that. And so I want to talk about a little bit about the verses this week and the significance of, during this time frame, there are so many people that needed this, that needed a kind of a breakaway from everything that is going on. And just to, sum it up, I'm not going to go into depth about it because I'll bust out in bloody tears after what happened over the weekend, and then the events leading up into the verses on Monday. But after losing Chadwick Boseman, after losing Coach John Thompson, after losing so many very talented people over the weekend, there was just kind of an outcry of things that and a healing just needed to take place. And so I personally, if I knew those two offhand, I would thank Brandy and Monica for what they were able to do. I mean, 1 million people tuned in on a Monday evening and were literally glued to the set. Now, I'm not going to get into their music and which one I like the best because I'm a Brandy fan, I'm a Monica fan. But just literally the time that they put in, and one of the things that I want to bring focus on is that, just kind of burying, the hatchet, for lack of a better term. For those of you that, especially between women, if there is a time, that you had a best friend or you had a friend and you guys had a falling out over time, there is nothing like a pandemic and everything that's going on around us that helps bring focus back into our life on what the important things are. And holding on to grudges, holding on, hey, how you doing? Holding on to grudges and things like that between, old friends it doesn't suit you. It doesn't serve us. So the best thing to do at this time is just to let these things go. If you have a grudge, if you have a problem with an old friend of yours, now is the time to go ahead and forgive and just move on with life. There is no need for you to still hold on to grudges. And I'm so thankful and I'm so glad. Hey, I'm so thankful and so glad that Brandy and Monica were able to go ahead through music go ahead and literally just go ahead and squash whatever beef, whatever they had between the two of them, because they're better than that. And so much time, hey Kissy, so much time has gone by. And so, hey Richard, how you doing? So much time has gone by that their music is timeless. So we want to remember the music. We don't ever want to remember, oh, Brandy and Monica, they got into it and they never really could recover from that or be friends or, get past, this rivalry that the two of them had, whatever it may be. And only the two of them truly know what happened in their careers and what happened between the two of them. But at this point in time, there's no reason for us to hold on to grudges. If you have somebody that, you haven't been able to talk to for years, the best thing you can do is just say, you know what? Forget it. Let's move on, because you never know if tomorrow is promised to us. And so when you have somebody that's in your life, that has been in your life, that you genuinely cared about, that you genuinely love, squash all that other stuff. It doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that you guys can get to a common place. You guys can get to a place where you can move on, where you can, be friends. And even if you're not just the best of friends, nobody's asking you to be buddy, buddy, pal, pal. But you definitely want to make sure that you are, you let that go. You let all that negative energy and all the stuff that you've been carrying around in your heart, just let it go. And so I encourage anyone out there, and I'm, like I said, I'm thankful to Brandy and Monica for showcasing the music and making it be about the music first and foremost than anything else, but also showing us that we can be better people. We can be better as women, and we can, love each other and shower praise on each other, of which I talk to you guys every week about. It starts with loving ourselves and then having the ability to dare enough to love somebody else. So kudos to Brandy and Monica. I thought that was a really big moment. Everyone doted and talked about, we needed that for the culture. I totally agree. I'm in total agreement with that. Richard said, unforgiveness keeps you bound to the person that has offended you. Exactly, Richard. So why not let it go? Some of us are holding on to these grudges that we've had from people that we knew when we were kids, stuff that happened with people in high school. And it's just, you just got to let that stuff go. You never know. If anything has happened in this last week, it's taught us that, time is not unlimited. Okay. So you never know when your loved one, your sister, your brother, or friend is going to leave this world. So, let go of the little things, let go of the petty things that separated the two of you, and really, really hone in on, really moving on with your life. Because if you can forgive, then you can move forward and do anything basically from that moment on. So I've learned that personally. I've reached out and talked to several people during this time frame, while I had idle time, and just, let them know, hey, I'm sorry. I apologize. Maybe I didn't handle that the correct way. Maybe I didn't handle that the right way. But hey, Frey, how you doing? But you have to let some of that old stuff go. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happened in the old friendship that separated the two of you, don't hold on to those, grudges, because at this point it doesn't serve you guys going forward into your lives. So I had to reach out to someone this week, and like I said, I'm always the first one to put my hand up and say I'm not perfect. I'm not exempt from anything or anyone. So I literally I reached out to someone and I apologized for some of the things that I had said and I had done to them, and we moved on. And that's what being an adult, that's what being a grown person is all about. It's taking your shortcomings, understanding what you did right, what you did wrong, realizing that there is no right or no wrong at this point. Once you get to, once you have that moment of forgiveness. So I really, really hope that that sparks, and everything that's happening in the world sparks people to be a little bit more understanding, a little bit more forgiving when it comes to, relationships and everything like that, and really put some of the negative stuff that's happened behind you. Hey, Kelly, what's going on? So, for everyone that's tuning in, thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode 23 of Speak Your Soul. I'm so appreciative and thankful for everyone that is tuning in as we do this every week. Every Tuesday, I put up my Speak Your Soul topic of the week. And you guys, once again, you show up and you show out when I put these topics up. And so I love always getting your perspectives on things, and then having us basically come together on Wednesdays at 5 o'clock to really talk about it. Just consider this like a big Speak Your Soul therapy session, if you would. But trust me, we got some more things in store. I got a surprise for you guys next week. So, but I really want to hone in on the theme of today's show. So I put out a statement, and first of all, this episode is called Truth or Love. So a lot of times we look for one or the other, but we don't believe that both of them are able to be achieved in the same sentence. So sometimes people believe that truth is able to be attained, but not love. And then vice versa, that love is able to be maintained, but not the truth. But coming from someone like myself, I always will seek the truth. And I'm always a very honest, upfront type of person. So if something bothers me, if if I see something happening, I'm going to tell the truth. So I feel that I'm doing you a disservice as a human being, as your friend, as somebody that's in a relationship with you. I can't, let things happen and not be able to be honest and truthful with you. So I put being truthful and honest high, very high, on a list of things in my life. Like I can't just lie to you and look you in your face and lie to your face. That's never been the person that I am, and I refuse to be that type of person right now. So when I thought about this topic, I really had to dive in deep. I had to call some people, talk to some people on the phone, because sometimes when you have a particular topic like this, it kind of opens you up for, different feelings, different emotions, and like I said, and definitely different perspectives, which makes it all that much more interesting. So let's go ahead and dive into the Speak Your Soul poll for this particular week. So very simply put, Speak Your Soul wants to know, what's more important, love or truth? So as people started kind of instantly chiming in, and once again, thank you for those that always chip in every week to the Speak Your Soul poll and give their thoughts and their perspectives about these particular topics. But this one hits a little bit home for me, because the way people see it and the way people perceive love, and do they put that in more of a high regard than the truth? So it was interesting to find out just how many people value the truth. So, everyone went down the list and said, truth. But, let's define that. Let's dig a little bit deeper into why, we chose the truth. So, as I stated, that's just the type of person I am. I feel like I'm doing anyone in my life, a disservice if I'm not able to be honest, truthful, and upfront with them. Hey, Brandon, withholding the truth, lying to people you are in relationship with is empathetic, or empathy is an important pillar in maintaining love. Okay, gotcha. So you are in relationship with is not empathetic. So I just believe in it. It trust me, if you have lied in any shape, form, or fashion, and you're not truthful with someone, that's not a foundation for love. So if you've lied, whether it's lying about your, the way you look, your appearance, about, what you like, what you dislike, because you're trying so hard to impress, to get next to someone. You're trying so hard to prove to someone um, that you are the perfect person for them, and there's no such thing. So it's better off, and it's better if you be truthful and honest from the beginning, because that, like I said, that foundation that you're building with that person is not a strong foundation. It's already built on, a shaky rock, so to speak. So, I value truth. Yeah, even lying to yourself. You're right about that, Brandon. So even lying to yourself is not a good idea, period. That's not a good foundation of love for yourself. So you have to be honest and upfront with yourself first. And then when you are in a relationship with someone, you have to start off and be completely honest with that person. If I've been in too many relationships where we weren't truthful, we weren't honest, and but yet we continue to keep moving forward and kept going on as though everything was okay. And then when the bottom fell out of that relationship, we had nobody to blame but ourselves, because we weren't honest with each other. We didn't tell each other the truth. These things, bother me. Well, I don't like the way you did this. Well, this, that, and the third. Well, you wear too much makeup, or whatever it is. You have to be able to be completely honest with the person you're with. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And so I'm going to always side with being truthful with someone versus just diving into love. Love is something that typically eventually comes, with time and getting to know that person, and being honest and truthful in that. So I'm going to read some of the comments, and, if you guys that are watching, you guys can chime in as well. But the first comment that I noticed right out the bat was from Adrian. So thank you, Adrian, for writing this lovely post here. You said truth. It's often crappy, but that's the bedrock of growth. So there is no love without truth. And I truly believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that from truth, it spawns love, that you can, that it comes eventually, that it comes later on down the line. You don't necessarily always start a brand new relationship saying, "Oh, I love you." I instantly love you for who you are, for what you do. So I truly understand that with truth comes love. And so, yeah, sometimes the truth can feel a little crappy. Sometimes you can, get put in your feelings, as you say, but it starts the foundation. That's how you know that this person is with you. This person cares about you. And then that relationship is going to prosper and eventually turn into a loving situation, because someone loves you enough to tell you the truth. So never knock someone or get angry with someone because they tell you the truth. To me, telling me the truth about myself or whatever it is that I've done is letting me know that you care and that you love me. So I'm always going to side with you being truthful. Call me up. Hey, Shantae, you looked a mess on Speak Your Soul, whatever it may be. So I'm always going to side for the truth, because if you love me enough, then you love me enough to tell me, to be honest with me, and to tell me the truth. So, but sometimes the truth doesn't always feel good. It's not always rose colored, or, roses, or, chocolates or whatever. Sometimes the truth can be painful, especially when it's being told to you by someone that you do love. So how many times have your parents or somebody that, a friend or somebody has told you, hey, you need to do this. Hey, you may want to watch out. You did this or whatever. And sometimes when you initially take that information, it's like, oh man, like, why did you do that to me? So you have to understand that everything that you're doing, if it's coming from a good place, is done with love. It's how you deliver it, though. That's true. So sometimes you can tell someone something, very truthful, and it depends on how you deliver that information to them. But it's you have to let that person know that it's done. It's coming from a genuine place. It's coming from a good place. And so it's not a place of malice, as you're telling them that. But I think, yeah, sometimes the truth can hurt, and that shies people away from being able to be truthful and honest with certain people because they already know what their reactions are going to be to the truth. But that still doesn't negate the fact that you should always be honest and truthful with the person that you're with. So, good observation. Truth, it can develop into genuine love. So as I spoke just a minute ago, if you're truthful and honest with someone, love does ensue. Love does come. So if you can be honest and truthful with me, I love you for it. And I'm more compelled to be more open and more honest with you, more free in our relationship because we share and because we talk to each other and we're communicating and we're being honest with each other. Then to me, that's when love is at its best between two people. When it's honest, when it's truthful, when it's, you're opening up all of this line of communication and you can talk to each other freely without, it offending or hurting each other's feelings. But if you can't be truthful with someone, why be in relation with them? Exactly. That's the number one golden rule. If you know that you can't be honest and truthful with someone, then sometimes it's better just to not do it at all. So that's a good one, Brandon. Sometimes you don't want to offend the person you're with, but if you think that by telling the truth you're going to offend them, then that person's not for you anyway. You have to be with someone that regardless wants to hear from you, that you don't have to tiptoe or dance around their feelings, and you can be honest with, and then in the same turn be able to get that same thing thrown right back at you. Now you have to be able to receive that information and receive that same truth as well. It can't always be one-sided. You both have to be on the same page with being honest and open with someone. And I've had some really crappy relationships where I was completely honest and truthful, but the other person at the other end didn't want to hurt my feelings. But they assumed that instead of us having a conversation about it. So don't just assume that the person that you're in a relationship doesn't want to hear the truth from you, because that's how a lot of decisions, get made without each other. And then that's how the line of communication starts to get broken down when one person is telling the truth and the other person is not. So someone said, I would have to say love. It's not love if it's not truthful, but you can be truthful and have no feelings for the party involved. So that one's a little bit deep. So they're saying they would say love. They would choose love. It's not love if it's not truthful. I totally agree with that. That it's not love if it's not truthful, as I've stated before. But you have to be careful with putting all your hope and your faith that love is going to carry you guys through a relationship. Love in itself is work. And so there are all little intimates that go along with that. You can't just say, oh, I love you, and that's supposed to cure everything that happens in the relationship and everything that's going on. But yes, you can be truthful with someone and not love them. So trust me, had that particular situation happen to me. I've had friendships like that where somebody was absolutely truthful and just didn't care at all about me as a person and my feelings. And trust me, that is the worst kind of feeling, when you have someone that's just kind of telling you the truth, constantly telling you the truth, but they want to hurt you. They want to get at you. They want to, pin you down. They want to make you feel horrible. So, be careful when you say, sometimes you can be truthful and not have love for the person that you're doing that. Well, you don't need that type of person in your space. If you have people that are completely honest and are brutally honest with you and telling you the truth all the time, but they don't want to accept the same when it's coming right back at them, and that there's no love there, that there's no genuine understanding, those people you have to separate out of your lives. And it's a lot of those people, let's be honest, there's a lot of people out there draining your energy like that. Telling you stuff, oh girl, that don't look good. Just negative, all that negativity. Girl, you need to, stop talking to him. Okay. You're telling me all of this. You're being truthful. You're being brutally honest. But if I turned around and told you something brutally honest, then there'd be a problem. So once again, be careful the people that you invite in your space and that you're telling the truth to, because some people are not really open to receive it back when it's coming back at them, and they're just in there filling it up negative spaces around you, kind of interrupting your positivity. So be careful with, when we're talking about truth and we're talking about love. A lot of people that smile in your face every day don't love you but will tell you to your face, you don't look good, I don't like the clothes you're wearing, and and tell you all this stuff. But not everybody, they're not doing that because they love you. They're doing that because they're trying to harm you. So be careful. Truth has love embedded. That's an awesome statement. So if somebody truly, truly loves you, they build the foundation of truth. There is love. Love is embedded in the truth. And so being able to talk to each other, communicate each other, tell each other the truth, there's a lot of love in that process. Relationships are built, they grow. There's growth in that. So a lot of times when we think that our relationships have come to an end, that's because you guys have stopped being honest with each other and stopped being truthful with each other and communicating. And so 9 times out of 10, that's the earliest demise that you have for your relationship, is when you stop telling each other the truth and you basically just tell each other what you think you should hear. That's not grounds for a real relationship. If you're just in it to appease each other and you're just want to see where this is going, you don't really have love for the person anymore, it's best to just go ahead and leave and just be honest about it. Be honest with yourself and just let that other person go on about their lives. But don't be in a relationship and holding on to someone that is not going to be truthful to you, And so that includes cheating. So cheating is a part of, being truthful, being honest. Some people are too truthful. And as soon as they do something against the other person, they run and tell them everything that they did. Well, there's no love involved in that, because, you thought so little of me to go and commit this act and to cheat and then come back and tell me and try to be honest and upfront. But at that point, that's just kind of you getting your conscience at bay and hoping yourself, you can make yourself feel good. So be careful when it comes to, truth and love, because not everyone that's telling you the truth loves you. And, not everybody that loves you, tells the truth. And so these two always will go hand in hand. But when it comes to us personally, everyone has their own preference in regards to whether they believe love is the number one important thing that they want in a relationship or that they want in their lives, or if having a friendship or a relationship is more stable, or is going to have more stability if it's founded on truth. And I can't speak highly enough that so many people that chimed in on today's poll truly believe that the truth is the best way to go. It's the best way to start a relationship. It's the best way to build a friendship, for certain. How many friends, as I talked about at the beginning, how many times have we had someone that we wanted to tell the truth so bad to, but we didn't? And then they go off and then somebody does something to them, or somebody hurts their feelings, when we could have said something at the very beginning to stop all of that from happening. So it's better when it comes from someone that loves this person, versus them hearing it from somebody that doesn't care about them at all. So remember that sometimes it's not always about, embarrassing someone or making someone feel uncomfortable. If you know that it's going to put that person in a better position as far as themselves, then I'm sure the person will appreciate that. So always keep that in mind. But one of my favorite comments from this week, and I want to give a shout out to Miss Brenda King Durham. She wrote both. So we got someone that is giving it to us straight, and they're saying, hey, I believe that both are important. And then she goes on to tell us why. So both, but truth comes first. Truth comes first, and it builds the relationship for love. Truth and honesty are the foundations for love to grow. Beautiful. So you need both of them. You can't really have one without the other. However you choose to, and the importance of the order, whether you choose love first and then the truth, or whether you're choosing truth first and then love. The two of them can't exist without each other. And I think that's the biggest message that I want to send on today's episode of Speak Your Soul. The two of these go hand in hand regardless. And no relationship grows or fosters or, lives on unless both of these exist in kind of a perfect little harmony with each other. So always, you can debate whether, which one comes first, but we're all in agreement that you need both of these in your life, in order for any type of relationship or friendship to be successful. You have to have both truth and love. So that was my favorite comment, and a lot of people agreed. So thank you, Miss Brenda, for commenting on today's episode. Miss Kelly, I hope you're still watching. Those kind of go hand in hand. I agree. So I totally agree with what Miss Brenda had to say. Truth is love. And so I think that's the truth can be the biggest form of love, or the biggest thing that you can do for someone that you truly love the most is to be honest with them. So I have people, and I've been in relationships where people corrected me when I did something wrong or I said something wrong, and I didn't get frustrated and I didn't get angry about it, because I know that it's coming from a place of love, that they want to see me do my best and be at my best. And so you have to be able to take that when it comes right at you. If someone's telling you, hey, you might want to fix this or do this, it's coming from a place that's, once again, that's not malicious. It's coming from a place of love. And so when you understand that truth is love, and so the people in your life that are telling you the truth, that are being honest with you. Now, with that being said, day after day after day, we have people that literally don't tell the truth, not only to the people that they're with, but don't tell the truth to themselves. And they post a lot of stuff on social media, and as I'm going through it and I'm reading, and I'm just, I'm kind of at a loss. And so how so many people are so lost, and they kind of just consistently just keep lying to themselves and not being honest with themselves, and they don't want people to be honest with them. My thing about it is, if you're going to post something on social media, be prepared for people to be honest, for people to have opinions. Now, it's on you for you to be like, okay, well, I don't need your your opinions if it's something negative. But if you're going to post things on social media, if you're going to post selfies, if you're going to post, post about your own personal life or whatever it is, you're opening up yourself for people to tell you, the truth. And whether or not you perceive that as a truth, you open the door up for people to have opinions about what you think and what you say. So it's sad when I scroll through my social media, and it's so many people that, hate to be told the truth. People are arguing with each other. Like I said, friendships have ended, relationships have ended because of the things that have been posted on social media that people don't agree with, or lies that are being told. And it's a lot of arguing and bickering going on. I just say, sometimes it's best to leave your stuff off of social media, so that way, other people, it doesn't get drawn into attention from other people, and then they have comments and they want to start, chiming in and talking about what's happening in your personal life. If you can't be honest and truthful with the person it involves, then it definitely needs to stay off the internet, because once the internet gets a hold of it, it's just it goes completely far-fetched from there. So be honest and truthful with yourself when you post things about yourself, things about your relationships. If you don't want people to be truthful and honest with you, then you definitely don't want to post it on social media, because they're going to give you the truth, however you want to perceive it to be, honest and truthfully and straight, and it's not going to taste good. So if you're the type of person that doesn't like for people to be honest and upfront with you and talk to you and be honest with you, then you definitely don't want to put yourself out there on social media. So love brings truth. Once again, all of these were some awesome comments. So thank everybody once again for tuning in. Love. If you love me, you tell me the truth. If I love you, I'll receive that truth. Drop mic. Hello. Of course, that's Mr. Tony once again chiming in with an amazing comment. Yes, if I love you, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you love me, if I love you, then I'm going to receive that truth. Hey, Fiercely, how you doing? So it's amazing how the relationships are really a give and go. They're a give and take. So, and that includes, loving someone and being able to tell someone the truth. It can't just be me. I can't just keep telling you and firing off, hey, you need to do this, you need to change this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm being honest with you and I'm being truthful with you, but you're not receiving that. You're cutting off the relationship at the head. It has to be a two-way street when it comes to love and telling the truth to someone and being honest with someone. A lot of relationships fail when that line of communication and that honesty is now compromised and neither one of you are telling each other the truth. You're just kind of telling each other what you want to hear. And that's never grounds for staying in a relationship. Those relationships die instantly as soon as that happens. It's pretty much over with and done at that point. So it's a two-way street. If I love you, then I should be able to tell you the truth. If, and the same and vice versa. And I should be able to receive without getting upset, without getting frustrated, without, thinking that there's malicious intent, without, thinking that you're trying to hurt me or harm me. It's for me to grow. And truth is growth. For you to tell me something, that's truthful and honest, and I grow from what you've told me. It's the ultimate that you can do in a relationship and friendship. Hey, Valerie, how you doing, sis? So a lot of good stuff was said here. I'm not taking anything away. And then you get to my brother, Mr. Darylyn Brown, who said, give me the truth any day of the week. Hello, somebody, can you hear me? At least I know you loved and cared enough to keep it 100. And so that's why a lot of people choose truth over love. Because if you could tell me the truth, then I know without a shadow of a doubt that you truly, honestly, genuinely love me to keep it 100. You won't have me out there looking bad. You won't have me out there, getting upset, falling off. So that counts for a lot in my book. The truth may hurt sometimes, but love hurts a lot more. And so that's an interesting way to think about it. The truth hurts, but love hurts more, especially, when it's not being returned or when you are with someone that genuinely does not love you. So that hurts even more than someone not being able to be honest and truthful, in my opinion. So he went deep on us, so I want you guys to go with me on this one. He said, from a theological standpoint, it's like saying God loved us enough to send his son to tell us nothing but the truth. So is his love more important or is his truth? I know the answer, but it makes you think. So when you think about it, we talk about one of the most honest and truthful acts of love, that's it. God, loved us so much that he sent his son to tell us the truth. And so when you think about that in aspect, what bigger act of faith and love was for God to, send his son, to us. So, I didn't even think or I wasn't even thinking about this from a theological standpoint, but Dizzy brings up a good point. So once again, it starts with truth. Then there's love. Love is embedded. It's woven into, that particular, concept. So, but that is probably when we think about truth and we think about love, God sending his son was one of the biggest acts of love that you could ever imagine. And he was sent here to deliver the truth directly to us. So, I thank him so much for bringing this up, because, we can talk on and about, if we, what's more important to us. But a lot of times we have to look at it from a theological standpoint as well. And one of the biggest acts of love and truth is in that moment. So thank you, Daryl, for putting that. Once again, truth. And then I'd only say, Christian, this is my sorority sister. Love you, Chris. I'd only say love, because that determines how truth is used. Truth is foundation and care when it's given in love. Exactly. Truth can become a deadly weapon when it's not governed by love. Wow. So trust me. And that's what I kind of was relating to a little bit earlier. Sometimes truth can be thrown, at you by someone that doesn't love you. Right. And so it's kind of a dangerous feeling when someone that doesn't love you or doesn't care about you hurls the truth at you, and that and it's not governed in love. So versus, love kind of being the governing body to, the truth. So what happens in a situation where that if you tell a person the truth, but the person's mental or emotional state is so fragile that if they hear the real truth, there is a chance that they may harm themselves. Wow. Suicide, deep depression. Would you love them enough to not tell them the truth, or remain unhappy and risk telling the truth? That's huge. Thank you, cousin. But that's absolutely huge. But that goes back to, loving the person enough to be able to tell them the truth, and being able to govern, if what you're going to say is going to have a negative effect on them and they're not going to be able to handle it, versus, letting that person think that, everything is okay, and leading that person into a false sense of security. That's an interesting question. I'm glad you asked that. So if somebody is suicidal, would you be, honest with telling them the truth given their emotional state? If it's something that I know that this person is going to go and commit suicide, I probably wouldn't. But I would suggest that person talk to someone, if that person is not you. So, if somebody is suicidal, or has mental issues, and they're not going to be able to take it directly from somebody like me or you, it's always best to involve somebody else. Ask somebody else to get involved. Definitely some type of a medical professional, because you don't want the words that you say to be that person's downfall, or to be that demise. But you can always recommend that they talk it out, that they speak about it, and get it out. To be honest with you, and I'm just going to keep it absolutely 100% with everybody that's watching me on live, I have had people constantly calling during this time of this pandemic. And as we watched George Floyd and, now Jacob Blake and all these things, and all these people, perish, or, get beaten, or, die in this particular time, we are not okay. So, sometimes what we tell people as they're already grieving, or as they're already kind of depressed, just really kind of, sets people further down the road of wanting to commit suicide, and, depression, and all this kind of stuff. So we have to be very careful how much we put on people, because we never know how much they're going to be able to bear. Only God knows that. But now more than ever, depression, suicide. I've got, people that I've received text message from, calls from, hey, I don't feel loved. I don't have anyone to really talk to about this. Can I talk to you about it? And that's happening more frequent than not. But guess what? I'd rather get a phone call from you than get a phone call saying that you're no longer with us. Just putting it out there, because you never know what's going on in a person's mind, so everything can be addressed. And that's exactly the thing. You never know. So telling someone the truth and being honest with someone can have a negative effect on them if they're already suffering, if they already have thoughts of suicide, if they're depressed. But if they open up to you and they want you to talk to them, I think it is our duty to, share and let that person get their grievances out and let that person be heard. And like I said, this pandemic and with everything that's going on has caused so many people to reveal a lot of pain, a lot of frustration, a lot of depression. People have lost their jobs. People have, literally their lives have changed in the matter of months. Some for the absolute better, and some have sunken way down. But we have to be able to love these people, to love our friends, to love the people that we're in these relationships with. And we have to love them enough to be honest with them and to be truthful with them. Everything is not sunshine, especially right now. It's gloomy outside. Everything's not sunshine. Everything is not rainbows and clouds. So you have to be able to have a relationship with someone to be honest enough to tell them, even if it hurts them, even if it hurts you. You have to be able to be that type of person for you, for someone in your life. And that person knows that you love them, that you care for them, and you have their best interest at heart. And so right now, I've had a lot of conversations on the phone, and it's been overwhelming at times for me on the other end, I will say. But like I said, I'd rather get a phone call and we work this out than for me to get a phone call that says we're planning your funeral at the end of the week. So the truth in that is the truth and love. There's truth and love that lies in that. So being able to be honest with someone and have them be honest with you and truthful with you, and you showing love back to that person in return. So pretty good one there, cuz. So as we get ready to kind of put a bow on this episode of Speak Your Soul, once again, what's more important for me? Truth is more important, but I truly believe that the two of them are intertwined, that with truth and building a foundation under truth brings love. And the person that can be honest with you and you can be completely honest with each other, that relationship is going to grow, is going to flourish. So I appreciate, once again, everyone for tuning in. Episode 23 of Speak Your Soul. This thing keeps rolling right along. So for everyone that tunes in, this is going to also be available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, which everyone seems to love to stream the most. So thank you guys for tuning in on those particular platforms. We're on Facebook, we're on IG, we're on Snapchat, we're on Twitter. Speak Your Soul is everywhere. And as I reflect back on the events that happened this week, I want to give a big shout out to Caffrey Linwood for another successful Steel Till movement. So he is the founder of Steel Till. And so we celebrated, well, I can't really say celebrated, we commemorated the legacy and the life of Emmett Till. So that happened this week. Also, the March on Washington, which was an amazing event for everyone that watched this week, that also happened. So a lot of things are happening right now. Thank you for everyone that's congratulating me. This has been a true love. I get on here and I tell you guys the truth because I love you. So there you go. Keeping with the topic. But this journey has been amazing from the beginning, right before the pandemic hit, up until now. I still can't believe that, I get to tune in and talk to you guys about a little bit of everything every week. And I hope you guys continue to keep tuning in with more episodes to come. So with that, I'm going to go ahead, as I do every week on Speak Your Soul, and say, don't forget, never forget, no matter what's happening, to speak your soul. All right. Tune in later.